Oh, TV's depressing these days, isn't it? Come on, we don't want to talk about the election, do we? Yeah. Now, in terms of television shows, so far this year, I really haven't been watching much of anything. I've been busy dating and enjoying dating, and watched some hockey for my hockey channel. And honestly, in terms of television shows right now, there's not a lot I'm watching. But I try to keep up with South Park. And man, Simpsons never really gets old. Now, I tore into the latest Halloween episode, and I stand by that. And they've been running Treehouse of Horror all month this month, which doesn't help. When you see how it used to be good, it doesn't help running the new one, or having watched the new one, which was not very good. I have a vast collection. Let me go ahead and lift this up. It's heavy. This is Simpsons. So every season of The Simpsons available from season 4 on. I do not have seasons 1, 2, and 3. They do not have seasons 18 and 19 on DVD. They have none of them on Blu-ray. They released season 20 in a bafflingly different format than every other season. And then, following that, no more DVDs. Fox said, no, that's it. And it's too bad because, you know, on the surface, these are fantastic. Now, season 4, which I have, and I haven't opened yet because I was planning on marathoning these at some point. I was seriously going to do it as a marathon Simpsons. I still may. Now that I'm dating a woman with 3 kids, the opportunity to, should kill me. The opportunity to watch Simpsons in some format which works. Part of the reason I collected all these seasons is I would really like to be able to line up my 20 favorite episodes. And maybe 50. When you get into a show that's been around for 25 plus years, it's really hard to name favorite episodes. I'll try. Here's season 4. Homer's Triple Bypass, very good episode. Lisa's First Word is a good episode. Mr. Plow is a classic. New Kid on the Block is okay. Marge Gets a Job is cool. Itchy and Scratchy the movie. I think where Itchy and Scratchy the movie is awesome is that Homer tells Bart no. And it's the first time in the series where he says no, and he sticks to it. And throughout the whole episode, you're kind of waiting like, well, Homer's gonna cave, and he doesn't. And it's a really good episode. Lisa the Beauty Queen. My favorite is where Lisa finishes second, and they're watching on TV, and I wonder if that scepter's plastic or metal. And then you hear thunder, and you see a flash from the TV like a lightning strike, and Bart goes, nope, metal. And it's moments like that that stick with me. And I think the reason that this show resonates with me I mean, I could go through every series, but I'm not going to. That would take insanely long periods of time. The reason this show is my favorite, and the reason why I have a poster on my wall, if you look, no, that's Dr. There we go. That's every character on Simpsons up until season, I don't know, 22 or something like that. And the reason that I have that poster in all of these DVDs is those classic moments. I remember, when I was a married man before, and if I didn't think my ex-wife was listening to me, I would just sort of let a sentence trail off, and then I would say, and that's when the chuds came at me. And it worked. If she was listening, she would say, chuds, eh? And if she wasn't, then nothing. And it's from my favorite episode ever, which is series 9. And it's still my favorite episode ever. It is just fantastic. 200th episode on season 9. Homer Simpson versus the City of New York, I believe it's called. me just verify the title. Come on. It was season 9 opener. Season opener. Yeah, the City of New York versus Homer Simpson. And the DVDs, the little booklets that come with them, and the little things that are in all of them, and the special features that come with these DVDs are really actually pretty good. Considering it is just DVD, and of course everything's Blu-ray now, so people were like, oh, it's not Blu-ray, it's not high def. No, Simpsons wasn't high def. Simpsons wasn't animated as a high-definition cartoon. It was animated a long time ago as not high def. So the fact these aren't Blu-ray doesn't really upset me as much as it might if it was, you know, Tron, something like that. But for Simpsons, it's fine not being on Blu-ray. In fact, DVD is how it should be since they weren't made widescreen or high def. But that whole episode of the City of New York versus Homer Simpson is amazing for the fact that Homer is against New York. The entire family loves New York except Homer. Through the entire episode, that never changes. New York is out to get Homer, and the rest of the family loves it. And where Simpsons has been makes it harder and harder to take where it currently is. I look back at a classic here, Series 8. You can see Frank Grimes right there. Good old Grimy. I can't remember the last time the show added an iconic character, an iconic guest character. You know, the Sideshow Bob type. Sideshow Bob's been in the show forever, and it feels to me like a lot of the time when they get a good joke or a good laugh, it'll be from something that they created 20 years ago, and they go, hey, look, remember when this was funny? And I hate to say it because, you know, I own all of these seasons of the show for a reason. Because it's the best show on TV. But it gets harder and harder once you get into the double-digit seasons. It does get harder and harder to find really fantastic, high-quality episodes. Like, here's the 12th season. So this is still, you know, over a decade ago. Tale of Two Springfields. I enjoy, if that's the one with the area codes, freaking hilarious. There's, when they add the area code to the phone number, and Homer can't remember to dial the area code first. It is absolutely some of the funniest things ever. And him strangling Bart in that episode is just amazing. And then, Dad, it's ringing, and you're beep because he didn't dial the area code first. Pretty amazing. Lisa the Tree Hugger, no. See, it gets harder. We even have worst episode ever on here. Trilogy of Error. Trilogy of Error is the one with Lingual, I believe. Trilogy of Error is the one with Lingual. Lingual is fantastic. Lingual is, you know, according to Homer, a party robot, but he's not. He's Lisa's creation, so he's not. And it's funny because a lot of people, including myself over the years, have said that Family Guy rips on Simpsons. And it does. And I think when you see Seth MacFarlane being a douchebag, which is basically what he does, and he claims that, well, they didn't rip off The Simpsons, he is lying to himself. They absolutely did rip off The Simpsons. Regularly. And shamelessly, they ripped off The Simpsons. Now, the whole back ripped off that one. Ripped off, I mean, it intentionally comes off, not that I actually ripped it off. Again, and this is the first time I've opened this one. This is season 12. And just, it's fantastic. It's just, the packaging is amazing. They really take care to make sure that you are getting your money's worth. And considering that most of these seasons, if you wait around on Amazon, you can get them for $10 each. That's how I got them. There was a huge sale on Amazon almost 6 months ago now, and I picked up every season I could. I just went 2 seasons 2 or 3 seasons of Payday. Oh, that's what I wanted anyways, was the booklet. Tale of Two Springfields. Yeah, that's the one. Insane Clown Poppy. Not a huge fan. Homer versus Dignity. No. Homer becomes an internet blogger. Oh, the one where he's Mr. X. That's not great. So again, this is what happens. Money Caper. No, not great. Homer, the one where he gets the crayon stuck in his brain. There are good moments in that one. Not a great episode. Skinner's Sense of Snow, or the snowstorm at the school. That's actually really funny. That one's actually genuinely a really funny episode. Pokemon, so where she's in jail, the artist one. Yeah, after our comic book guy has a heart attack, he turns the store over to Bart and Milhouse. They discover comic book guy's collection of secretly recorded videotapes, while CBG begins a torrid romance with Principal Skinner's mother. And it's titled Worst Episode Ever, and it's up there. It is up there. Tennis the Menace, the one where they get the tennis court, is not that funny. Sideshow Bob returns and attempts to use Bart as a living bomb to kill Krusty the Clown. Day of Jackanapes. It has its moments. It's one of my least favorite Sideshow Bob episodes. Sideshow Bob, the Cape Fear inspired episode is the greatest ever. You know, you were Homer Thompson of Terror Lake. Hello, Mr. Thompson. No reaction. And then I press down on your foot 3 times. You'll say hi. Gotcha. Hello, Mr. Thompson. And no reaction. I think he's talking to you. I was on the floor the first time I saw that. Absolutely amazing. New Kids on the Blech. Bart becomes a member of a boy band. Oh my god, it was just awful. The Navy, join the Navy, even at Niage. Not really funny. Hungry Hungry Homer, after spending a day at the amusement park Blockoland, Homer learns the local minor league baseball team is secretly planning to move to Albuquerque. And that's a fantastic episode. Absolutely one of the greatest things ever. Trying to dancing away my hunger pains, moving my feet so my stomach won't hurt. I'm kind of like Jesus, but not in a sacrilegious way. Absolutely one of the funniest episodes, and that's the thing. The Simpsons starts out, you got the early seasons, it's fantastic. You get into the middle seasons, you have some great episodes and some bad ones. Now, where we're at right now is, I want to say The Simpsons is still a great show. It is, the animation has never been as good as it is now. The animation on the show is so intricate and so well done. And for the high def screens, it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. I remember when the Simpsons movie came out, and that was in high def. And I mean, like, it was theatrical. The word high def just comes out of me. Even when it's not high def, it's just theatrical, Shannon. Um, it was stunning to see how it looked, even though the movie was good, not great. Simpsons movie wasn't great. The interesting thing with season 22 season 20 is that it has all of the cast of characters. It's exactly the same pictures I have on my wall, except not as many characters as in the poster on my wall. Basically, they took this picture and then just added to it later, which apparently really upset people on the internet, which is unusual because people on the internet are normally very happy. Yeah, and there's the rest of it. So you got Kang and Kodos. But season 20, so they have the booklet in here too, and Bart looks crazy. And of course, you got Homer choking Bart. Think about any other show where dad chokes son and it becomes a big hit, big comedy hit. Uh, Sex, Pies, and Idiot Scrapes. After a riot takes place during Springfield's first St. Patrick's Day parade without beer, Homer decides to become a bounty hunter and teams up with the most unlikely partner, Ned Flanders. And that's where Marge works in an erotic bakery. Not a great episode. Lost Verizon when Bart uses a cell phone of a guest star, Dennis Leary. That is not a funny episode at all. Double Boy in Trouble. Bart's incorrigible behavior causes Homer to lose on a $50,000 lottery ticket. The family's so furious with him that Bart trades places with a wealthy boy. Oh, that episode is just brutal. Trios of Horror 19. After Homer has encountered serious difficulty while trying to vote for Obama, Springfield becomes a battleground for transforming robots in untitled robot parody. Then, in How to Get Ahead in Advertising, Homer kills celebrities. That's an awful part of that episode. Homer killing celebrities is not funny. Worst part, it's just not funny. It's the Great Pumpkin Millhouse makes up for it, though. The Great Pumpkin part is fantastic. At the start, the robot parody, which is, obviously Transformers, spoiler alert, is good. And then the Obama voting booth, one of the most clever bits they ever did, which is he goes into the voting booth, you've got Obama on one side, you've got McCain on the other, and he hits Obama and it goes, what's one vote for McCain? No, I'm voting for Obama. Does it again. And then he hits it a bunch of times, 2 votes for Obama, and 3 votes for Senator McCain. He goes, hey, only one of those votes was meant for McCain. So there are so many clever things in there, and it's, President McCain, because it's the voting booth is counting the votes the wrong way. Very, very clever, but not a great episode. Dangerous Curves. Oh, that's the one where it shows Homer's love life with Marge, and they talk about Ned with... Yeah, it's just bad. Homer and Lisa exchange crosswords. Homer starts a business where he provides general breakups for couples who no longer wish to be together. Lisa becomes good at crossword puzzles. Oh, that one's not very good. My Pods and Broomsticks. Not very good. The Birds and the Bees. Alarmed by the dwindling of Springfield's bee population, Lisa finds sanctuary for the bees. Meanwhile, Mr. Burns wins a basketball team at a billionaire's retreat. Oh, that one's not very good either. Lisa, the drama queen. There's lots of Lisa episodes in here. There's an episode of Family Guy where he looks at the camera and goes, that's right, this is going to be a Meg episode. And he picks up the remote and goes, go ahead. Wouldn't blame you. Or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. I do that with Lisa episodes. And I hate to admit that. Because there have been decent Lisa episodes. Bleeding Gums Murphy's one. Let me know in the comments if you know of any others. Lisa's very dry and very not funny. So when the episode's all about her, it's kind of like, oh. It's like the episode where Bart becomes a jazz musician on the drums, because that happened. It didn't make any sense for Bart to suddenly... It's one of those things. There could have been funny moments in that episode if they made it about Homer trying to get Bart to stop playing the drums and they forgot the whole jazz thing. But you got to throw the jazz thing in there because the kids are all about the jazz these days. For anybody who's younger than 30, no, jazz was not cool when the show started. It hasn't been cool since about 1635, somewhere in that region, something like that. Mention in the comments how wrong I am. But my point is simple. Norah Jones aside, but Norah Jones is hot, so that rules out whether or not the music's any good. Norah Jones is hot, so that's it. My God, she's a good-looking woman. But I don't know any of her songs. I've tried. I'm like, I'm going to give this a shot because it's Norah Jones and she's cute. And oh, wow, this is terrible. I can't listen to this. And that's as close to listening to jazz as I've ever got. But yeah, season 20, like I said, it really bogs down. Now we're up to about 26 or 27 seasons, and it's to the point where it feels to me sort of like there was a show I was talking about with this Trailer Park Boys. Trailer Park Boys is up to season 10 or wherever it is right now. And you can tell they've done all the jokes. They're done telling jokes. and they're just in it for a paycheck right now, or something along those lines. Like it just feels like everything's been done. Once they did the Sebastian Bach getting the drugs across the border on the Patrick Swayze train, you couldn't do a better season finale than that. You couldn't. There were so many things that led up to that beautiful moment on Trailer Park Boys that since then it's just felt like a downer. It just feels like they're killing time most of the time. There's individual really funny parts, but the episodes don't hold together very well. And that's the same as can be said for Simpsons. You will probably laugh out loud watching any episode, at least once. And I find too that with new episodes, that the first 5 minutes I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. This is going to be, and then it just the early seasons, you'd have something happen that's random that would lead to the episode, and somehow that random event would be tied to the rest of the episode. Simpsons has almost become a parody of itself in that it feels like this random act leads to this random act that leads to that random act, and then at the end we'll kind of tie it together so that it seems like a cohesive episode we wrote it in one sitting, but it doesn't have the satisfying payoffs that it used to. There used to be some really satisfying payoffs on Simpsons, but it's still the best show ever because of the fact that it is worthy of being collected for. I mean, I don't have the first 3 seasons only because it's very easy to get them very cheap. And when I'm ready to do a marathon, and nobody's allowed to have firearms if I do a marathon. You cannot get into my home with firearms or wherever I tend to do this because at some point you will want to shoot yourself or others because that it can get tiring. But Simpsons is something completely different. There's never been a show like it. There never will be again. Family Guy tried to be a more offensive version than Simpsons. I mean, look, you've got the dad's an ignoramus. He's overweight. The wife is hot, apparently. I can't tell in animation who's hot and who isn't, really. I just can't. Except Druna, but that's a completely different topic. In terms of the way the show is structured, the boys on the show, whether it's Chris or Bart, are idiots. Now, Meg is portrayed as being smart, but she's also portrayed as being stupid. And Lisa is smart, but if it's a Lisa episode, it's probably going to be boring. If it's a Meg episode, it's probably going to be boring. And then you have baby Stewie and Maggie. They're both portrayed as homicidal at different points in time. They're both portrayed as cute at different points in time. Stewie is the most entertaining character on Family Guy. Episodes, if it's a Stewie and Brian episode, I'll sit and watch it. If it's anything else, I'll probably lose interest and forget that it's on. I'll watch 5 minutes, change the channel, and forget to go back until it's over. I'm like, oh, I forgot to watch the rest of Family Guy. That has started happening with Simpsons as well. Sunday came and went last night. Did I watch it? I don't even know if it was on. I know it's World Series, so probably wasn't on. But I don't know. I didn't really pay much attention. So, I mean, you're welcome to share your opinion in the comments, but I just wanted to discuss the fact that I am not just a fan of horror movies and science fiction, and that there are some mainstream things. For instance, my son accidentally butt dialed me while he was passed out last night at a party. Apparently at a Halloween party. You don't have to ask your dad anymore. Apparently at a certain age, a teenager can just go. Even if it's a school night, it's fine. Doesn't matter. It's just a school night. Who cares? But I care. Anyways, he butt dialed me, and I could tell in the background that Simpsons was on, and I could tell what episode it was. So it is that firmly ingrained in who I am that I will quote it every day. I don't know. I honestly I believe I quote the show at least once every single day. There are quotes of Homer's. Someday I'll sit down, I'll watch all these, and I'll write down the quotes that I use. They just come out. I have no idea when they're going to come out. And just quotes from the show in general, multiple times a day. And I get it. There are bad episodes. As I said, looking through these DVDs, there are bad episodes. But man, there's some great ones. Seasons 8 and 9 are still my favorite. Those are, I think, when the show reached the pinnacle. And anything before and after is still really, really good. And the quality only started to dip a little bit the last couple of seasons. But again, part of it is when you have to reinvent yourself. Like when they realized, okay, well, we can't have had Homer and Marge in school in the 70s because it's 40 years later. So we're going to have to update it and have them in high school and college in the 90s, which sent everybody into a rage. Everybody's like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Now Homer was Kurt Cobain? Like, no, no, no. But when they did that, while I was upset too, it made sense because you had to update it. And I think that's part of where the show loses itself. It's like when Homer went back to New York, I think it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, and they whitewashed the whole New York City versus Homer Simpson thing. And I thought that was too bad. I thought they missed an opportunity to do a couple of callbacks. They did the Calculash thing, which was interesting, but again, because Homer didn't remember hating New York, it seemed weird that he'd remember Calculash, which he said was awful and gross. But he'd rather have crab juice than Mountain Dew, which is, when I see Mountain Dew, I always think, ew, I'll have a crab juice. I always think that. And that shows just how much it has stuck in my brain and likely how much it's stuck in many others as well. So that is my Simpsons experience. I'm going to cut this video off here. Again, if you have like 20 favorite episodes or favorite quotes or whatever, use the comment section. I'll blow it up. And again, I'll go through and I'll figure out my favorite Homer quotes. It's a lengthy list though. And I don't even know if they're on Homer Quotes websites. I know there are Homer Quotes websites, but I don't know how many of my favorites are going to be on there. Distracted, that's a weird word. I wonder if anybody's ever been tracted. I'm going to call the suicide hotline and ask them. There are so many things in that quote that are beautiful. Just beautiful. Why must life always be so hard? Why must I fail at every attempt at masonry? How does Homer know it's called masonry? Like, it's just, there are so many wonderful moments in quotes, and I love it. I love the show. I love everything about it. And guest stars, your favorites, your least favorites, worst episode ever. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will be back with more content soon. I know I've been a little off in terms of content on here, and I apologize for that. I'm going to fix that ASAP. It is Halloween today. I will be going out trick-or-treating later on with Yvonne and the children. I may need some medication to be okay with that. I don't know how it's going to be. I have no idea. I don't know if adding sugar to some children is a good idea. We'll find out. And if I survive, I will be back to do more content at some point soon. But thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're just cruising through.